Hi, thank you for joining. This is Exploratory's online seminar number 100. Today, I'd like to present top 10 useful features for Note Editor. Before getting into, let me introduce myself. My name is Kan Nishida, CEO and co-founder at Exploratory. We started Exploratory 2016 to democratize data science. Our vision is data-informed decision-making is essential for making the world better. So therefore, what we can contribute is to democratize data science. We are mainly doing the two things. One is building a product called Exploratory. Any data science project or work always starts with questions to answer. And then you want to actually use the data to answer those questions. So therefore, you need to access the data and then transform, meaning cleaning and then changing the shape of the data. We call it data wrangling. And then visualize and analyze that data by using the statistical methods or machine learning algorithms and so on. And then after going through this any direction, any combinations, and then once you find some useful insights, then most of the case you want to share that insights with your coworkers or your managers or customers and so on. So the communication is also the important piece of any data science work. Exploratory provides the modern and simple UI to do these 5 tasks in a very simple and easier way. Okay, so enough about Exploratory. So let's get going into today's seminar's content, which is top 10 useful features for Exploratory's Note Editor. We have been adding incremental sort of like enhancements around the Note area. Version 9, which we released end of last year, which is December, we sort of like reshaped the Note Editor. So it's kind of like a brand new editor that we built from the scratch. So along with that, like we had, some of the issues in terms of like a performance and the product stability and so on. So we've been fixing those issues, but not just fixing those issues. We added many of the enhancements based on our users' feedback. So I just wanted to have this session to sort of like wrap up those new features because those features are kind of like a small incremental. So it turned out like many of our users don't even know them. So I pick up these 10, I think the useful features for any type of the people who use Note Editor. And by the way, I think the Note Editor is a great way to communicate what you have found from the data by visualizing or analyzing or even like wrangling the data and so on. So we really care about this Note Editor. So we're going to continue to improve that Note Editor moving forward. So this is just a kind of a stepping stone. But anyway, so we've got enough features to share with you. So let's start with adjusting the chart size. Basically around this, we have many features around the chart. So like I'm gonna just kind of show you all of them once. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Exploratory and then I'm gonna open the existing note. So just to let you know, like you can create a note from here and then like you have a dashboard or note. And then so one of them is a note. So I've already created this note called Global Sales Report. And then like I have type text and then like also embedded bunch of charts as well. Okay, and then here it is. So like we have the image and we have the text, and then maybe like some of you might not know is that you can now change the color of the text as well. And then this is like this week, so like whatever you're writing, that's what you're going to see after you publish or you share with other folks and stuff. Okay, so and then now like you can import the chart. In order to import the chart from this plus button, I've already imported it. So here it is. Okay, so there are a couple of things. So number one is you can change this chart size. Right now, like we have these 3 options. So standard, and then it's like a medium, and then large. So the medium size, I think this is probably the kind of typical size that you might want to use when you have like a bunch of stuff inside a chart. Other one is actually like this is like expanded size. So this one expand the chart width all the way to the whatever the page width. So especially when you publish this to share with other folks, and then other folks open like a Chrome browser or a Safari browser and so on. So this size, the width is going to be adjusted to whatever that Windows available size. Okay, so this is might be like sometimes too big, so but it depends what type of thing in that chart. Okay, so and then another thing is like for example, if you add the chart such as this type of by using that repeat by, so like let's say maybe I think this is good. Okay, so this one. Okay, so now like we have like this chart is creating the sort of like a sales trend by the market or region, and then the categorized grouped by the product category. Okay, so this is the kind of chart that you really want to sort of like expand the size of the chart. So anyway, like you always can click on around some kind of like a white space to select that chart, and then you're gonna see like the chart resize options. So in this case, note that like you have two more options here. This one is basically like you have only like 5 charts, but imagine like you have this one is actually, let's do that. Here, I can actually edit this chart. So like I click on this edit icon, and that will take me to that chart area. Okay. Or data frame, right? So in this case, right now, like I'm basically using the repeat by as a market. What if like I change that to, let's say like a region or something, and that will have like 23 regions. So let's see like how many chart is going to be drawn. So there will be a bunch of charts now we have. And then let's go back to the chart, the node, and then click on this refresh button on the left-hand side top. Oops. Here you go. That was like too much with the wide width. Okay, and click on the refresh button. And what this is going to do is whatever the chart that is updated is going to refresh that chart. Other charts, I didn't touch it, so it remained the same. So in this case, as you can see, like I can't see anything, not much, right? So I have to scroll down something. So this is where like you want to actually consider using these two options. Number one is here is this is basically like as long as all the charts are displayed. Okay, but it keeps the width as the typical, normal node width. So it's going to be aligned with other text and the charts and so on. But sometimes something like this is too long, right? So like, hey, why don't we just use that like a white space on left-hand side and the right-hand side? That's where like you have this option. By using this option, now you can expand to the maximum of the window size. So therefore, like you have more area to cover for these charts. Okay, so these are the basically the way you can change the chart size inside the node. Okay, I'm gonna actually go back to here to just bring it back to the market because this seems like a little too big for my demo. So, and then like if you change it every time, you can click on the refresh button to get the chart being updated, whatever that change that being reflected. Okay, so I'm gonna just select the chart and then get back to that regular size or just a little bit bigger. Okay. And then, as you have seen though, there's an icon here to click to go to the chart and edit that directory inside that data frame. Another thing is you can expand, you can download the data. So for example, like you might want to download whatever the data is being used for this chart, you can do so. Sometimes like you want to create a node to just keep like 10 charts because some of our users actually take the screenshot of the chart, paste it in a PowerPoint or Keynote for the presentation. And every time like they change the data or they change the chart, you have to retake the screenshot. So that's pretty annoying. So therefore, like you create a node to keep those 10 charts. And then after the end of the day, you click on this refresh button, get all the charts being regenerated, and then take these chart images and then go to the PowerPoint and then so on. So that's one way to use it. Another thing is that here, one thing I didn't cover is that this border icon. So this to me, I think added in the last maybe like a 2 release or so, so relatively new. But by clicking on this, now like you have that border. Sometimes like in a chart like this, like you don't know like where the text starts and then where the other image starts and stuff. So you have the option to add this border. Okay. Another thing is like you might want to add the comments to the chart so that the person that you share with will understand and have a better idea. Well, here's a note, right? So you can always add the text right here. So this is sales trend or something like that. But sometimes like you might want to actually add the comment directly inside the chart. So when you're in the chart, you have this like a comment icon on the right-hand side top. And then here, like you can add your comment. So looks like Europe is having a great sales increase, or whatever the text you write, and then you just click on OK. And once this happens, like you bring the mouse cursor, a mouse over to the icon, you see that comment. But not only that, you can go back to the chart, and then again, like you want to click on the refresh, and then what happened here? Let's say, oops. And then like you go to the chart, and then like you will see this icon, this comment icon. So move over the mouse, and then you see that comments as well. This is going to be the same experience like when the other people like you share with will see these icon. And then, I mean, except when they open in a web browser, they don't see this edit icon and so on, but they can see this comment and then read that as well. Okay, so this will help you as an author, but also the other folks as viewers of this report. Okay. And then the other things I like to cover is the show detail. So this is not much surprising, but as you might know, when you have the chart, let's say, which chart would be nicer? Here. Okay. And then you can click on any part, I mean, like the part of the chart, right? And then here in the chart view, like you can click on the show detail to show the detailed data. Well, this functionality is available even in the note as well. So you can click on any part, and then this will immediately open this show data or view data dialog. And then if you want it, you can actually export that whatever the data is in this dialog as well. Okay, so that's the show detailed data. And then refreshing the chart data is the next topic, but I have covered already, so that's nothing new here. But I keep clicking on this refresh button. But when you have this down here, you can refresh the chart data, or you can refresh, but before refreshing that chart, you can import that data. So for example, imagine this data is coming from, let's say, like a Google BigQuery or Amazon database or a Google spreadsheet or somewhere else, or even like local files as well. And then the data source has some change. Then like you want to re-import that data from whatever the data source is, and then have that data wrangling apply if you have the data wrangling steps like I have here. And then like you want these charts, whatever the charts included in the node to be regenerated based on the updated data, then you want to actually click on this refresh with data import. Okay, so in that node, you don't have to go to the data frame one by one. You can just update all the data. You don't have to like re-import the data. Then all you need to do is just click on this refresh data as well. So, so this refresh data in that case, instead of running the first step of the data wrangling, but if you change the data wrangling step somewhere, then that will be also reflected as well. Okay, so next topic is the table of contents. So here, like I have this like H1 header. To set this H1 header or H2 header or 3 and so on, is you go to the toolbar and then like you select this. Okay, and then so once you select this and I will set up like as a header 1 or 2 and so on, then it will automatically generate the table of content in that sort of like a preview mode or publish report. So what I mean by that is when you click on this preview button, This will generate HTML document on your local machine, and then it will open whatever the browser will preference, as I said, on your desk PC. And then like left-hand side, this is a TOC or table of contents automatically generated based on the H1 and H2 setting. Okay, so so you have the some like indentation for the H2 or if H3 if you have. Okay, and then for this setting, in this case, for example, like if I publish this node, and it will happen the same thing. So so that viewers or like the people like you share with will see that table contents. Cool thing about the table contents, something like this is still okay, but when you have the long node, then it's gonna hard to find like what that information, what information is included in that node. So TOC will help you, not just help you, but click on it to directly jump to that particular section of the node. Okay, and then for the table of content setting, you want to go to the right-hand side top. There's a setting button, and underneath table of content setting. So if you don't want to show the table of contents, let's say like you have only one H1 header, then you don't really actually need a TOC, then you can actually disable that as well. You want to cover only like a header 1, header 2 to be included in the TOC. You can set that as well, by typing 2. Okay. So if you want to do that, there's some setting here for the table of contents. Okay, the next one is actually kind of cool. I have already created it, but just let me see. Like I select this area and then this one. Oh yeah, I'm gonna just start over. So let's say like if I have the text and then like I want to make this text to be something that like viewers or viewers of this report can click to jump to that particular section of the node. We call this, I mean, like, in the world, people call it is like an anchor. So like you might have already known that concept. So you can actually do that here as well, in the node as well. So what I can do is select the text, whatever the text that you want to create a link for, right? And then either Command K or Control K for Windows, or click on this URL link button. And this will open this insert link dialog. The default is a URL link. So you can type whatever the URL that you want to actually jump to. But the other thing you can do is this header. And header means this is basically the anchor. Then it will show you whatever the H1, H2 headers, or if you H3 if you have. And then you can link to the particular section. So for example, like I want to click on this like regional analysis, and then that's been selected. So that means if I open this report or node in the preview mode or publish mode, then you can click on this particular URL link, and that will jump to that section that you have just set. Okay, so that's convenient, especially when you have, again, it's like a long content, so a lot of information in that node. Okay, so the next thing is the parameter. Well, in exploratory, there's something called parameter that you can actually set for the data wrangling, or maybe you can use parameter inside a SQL query, or you can create that in a chart filter in many different places. And you can also use that, not just a filter, you can use the parameter as a part of your calculation as well. So parameter is to make whatever you're looking, for example, chart or dashboard, or in this case, a node, to be more interactive based on the user's requirement. So in this case, all this data in this report is coming from this data frame. And then this data frame happened to be using some parameters at, for example, around here. So for example, this one, let's take a look here. Maybe like region is a good one. So here, there's a filter for the data, but region, instead of specifying particular things such as East Europe or like East Asia or something like that, I just set a parameter called region. And then this region parameter is being created in the parameter dialog. But by having this, then I can click on this like a parameter button, right-hand side top, it will show you the region parameter here. Therefore, like I can interactively select which data to be shown in this chart. But the same functionality of the parameter is available in this node. So based on, once you set the parameter in the chart or like this data wrangling step, node will automatically pick up the required parameters to run the charts that are inside the node. Okay, so you don't really have to do anything. It's almost like basically automatically being added. So all you need to do is just click on this parameter button, and it will show you whatever the parameters are required for these charts. And from here, what I can do is like I can just select that, for example, particular value. Let's say like I'm going to take off this consumer or something, and then click on run button, and it will regenerate the node. And then without that particular customer segment in this case. Okay, so the parameter is really to make your node interactive. This experience is going to be available at the server as well. So I keep talking about the server or the sharing, the publish, that kind of stuff. So what you can do is here's a publish button, and then you can click on it. And then I'm going to just sales report demo, and today is April 17th. And then like I'm going to just publish it as under my name, and then click on OK. And I'm basically publishing to the exploratory server in a private mode, unless I share with somebody explicitly, nobody can see it. But nonetheless, once the publishing starts, I will see this indicator. And then like, once it's finished, I should see some like link as well. While we are waiting, I'm going to just close this node so that I can move on to the next demo after this publishing stuff. And then let's see. Oh, it's finished. So now like it's finished. You typically want to click on this share setting because most of the time like you want to share with other folks. So in this case, for example, like I'm going to share with let's say somebody like my team, and then like and I can type whatever the text, and then I'm going to share. You don't have to share it if you want to use it just for yourself. Either way, as long as you see here, you see here, like you can see like, what is that mode? Is it like a private or shared or particular person and so on. So at this point, basically, this is what I've been saying, like you basically like have the node the same way that you saw in the preview mode. And then from here, in this case, I was talking about a parameter. So like here's a parameter button, and then you see the exact same parameter, except in the server, you want to click on this interactive mode to explicitly to be the interactive mode so that you can use the parameter. But once that's selected, then like you can actually select the parameter values here and then click on run button. Then here, I hope, yeah, okay, here you go. So all the segments to be included in the chart. Not only this chart, whatever the charts being using this parameter will have that being reflected. Okay. So next up is, let's switch that next node. Oh, actually, sorry. I should kept this open because there's one more thing I wanted to show you in this node, which is the embedding other like HTML contents. So what I mean by that is, let's say if you have already published a dashboard, sometimes dashboard is a great way to sort of like organize the charts when you have multiple charts. And so I have these 4 charts, plus I have created 2 pages. Okay, and I like to embed this dashboard inside that node. So note that like first you have to publish this, otherwise you can't you can't embed it. But once you published it, then all you need to do is just here. There's a 3 dots bottom underneath. There's like an embedding code, and here you want to actually copy and paste. And then this is basically using the HTML's iframe tag. And what the important part is like here is a URL. So this one is just pre-generating it. if you want to embed other web page, you can do the same thing, except like you want to replace this source section of the URL. Anyway, so to go back to the exploratory, then there's two ways to do it. One is to use the HTML. Here, like you can actually write any HTML. So that's actually kind of crazy. But also, like here's a web page. In this one, like you just copy and paste, and then like it will automatically create that sort of like HTML section for you. But this HTML is actually, it's more sort of like flexible, if you will. So like I'm gonna just paste the one like I just copy, and then like you can actually click on a preview to see how that dashboard will show up. Okay, so this one though is because width is actually kind of fixed. So therefore it's too short for the dashboard to have all those sort of like a 2x2 format. So right now, like basically like it's kind of like all the charts are stacking on top of each other. Okay, and obviously this is super hard to see. So in this case, what I wanted to do, this is why like I like this HTML version of it. What I wanted to do is changing that width and height option. So here, let's say like I'm gonna change that to 600 and default is pixel. So like either 600 or px, either way. And then here is 800 and a px, meaning I'm gonna have the 600 sort of like a pixel width and then like 800. It's a little bit longer and a pixel height for this dashboard. So if I click on this preview, it will try to show you that dashboard in that limited width. But if I go to the preview and I go to the dashboard section, oh, oops, I think I did something wrong here. Let's go back to the edit. I wanted to actually do the opposite. Width, I wanted to do the width as 800 and the height as a 600. This is like you can change based on like how it looks, and then go to the preview again, and it will open the web browser, go to the dashboard, and it seems okay. Note that like actually the preview version or the published version can have the HTML contents wider than the node's default sort of like width, right? So like width actually, node width actually stop here, but the here dashboard is actually wider than that because I set 800 pixel. Okay, so this is why this is how you can embed the web page. This is not just a dashboard, but also we actually internally using it. Sometimes like we have the Google form for surveys, and then like have that Google form embedded it inside a node, and we publish it, and then like give other folks asking questions and stuff. So that's also another way to use it as well. Okay, so we cover pretty much a lot of stuff, and then the two remaining stuff is this write formula with LATF and a custom R script. So let's cover these two, and then let's finish it up. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm gonna switch to another note. Here is a custom R script and then LATF. So let's start with the LATF. LATF is something that actually you can use to write the formula or equation. Okay, so for example, something like this, percent of different calculations calculated by the following formula. And it typically, like you can actually use this like a code button to have this like a gray background section, and you can type whatever the text in here, right? But you might want to make this as looks like more formula by meaning for, let's say this one is actually custom months minus first month divided by first month. And I like to have this one as a fraction, right? So have the first month at the bottom, and then the top layer and the current months on the minus first month. So to do so, you can actually do is, let's start from the beginning. So you can add the math section here, the math syntax, and then you can actually type this. I'm gonna just type this one here as sort of like a copy and paste. And then at this point, it's nothing's magic is going to happen here. Oh, oops, there's something. Yeah, I think I need to do a couple things. If I do this, yeah, okay. So right now it's basically the same way, right? It's like there's no point of like using this LATF and so on. But what I can do is basically like I want to make this as a fraction. And then we have created some cheat sheet in case you don't know LaTeX. Don't worry, like I didn't know LaTeX very well. So I'm also pretty new on this thing. But anyway, so here, LaTeX cheat sheet, and then here's like all those like some sort of like a way to write the stuff. So for example, here is like a x divided by y. This is a fraction. It's kind of like so small, but anyway, so the backslash and a fraction, the frac, and the x and a y, and then surrounded by sort of like wavy curly bracket. Okay, so what that means is here, backslash frac, and then they like this curly bracket instead of a typical bracket. And then here, I'm going to just use a closing bracket. And then you don't need this dividing sign, and then just another curly bracket, and then ending bracket. And then go to the preview. So now like I have this like more like a fraction format formula. Okay, and this like a asterisk is, most people understand this is like a multiplier, but we can actually change it to multiplier. So like I think there is somewhere in the times, here it is, so operators, so the time, backslash times. So I'm gonna change this one to backslash times, and then this is gonna be, make it more like a typical formula that you would see in a textbook. And then like lastly, I want to actually bring this percent difference. But here is one thing we need to be careful using the text inside the LaTeX. For example, especially when you have like this percent, they don't like that. So like you have to escape it as a backslash. Another thing is there's a space here, and then they will ignore the space, but we need this space to be preserved. So in that case, backslash text, and then like a curly bracket, and then just closing curly bracket. So this will treat this particular section inside this curly bracket of the text to be the text. So everything will be sort of like respected, including the space. So let's see like how this is going to do. Okay, so now percent difference equal the calculation. So you can actually start building the formula to be the kind of equation formula that you would see in a textbook. Sometimes it's useful. You don't have to use it, but in case you if you need to have the formula. Again, we have created this cheat sheet, and then and the matter of fact, I'm planning to do the LaTeX for beginners seminar next week. So if you're interested, please join next week. Okay. So that's a LaTeX, and then you can actually create a bunch of other stuff, but I'm going to stop it here. Next one, the last one, is the custom R code. So exploratory is built on top of R. So that means you can natively access many of the R functions and packages. It installs a bunch of R packages as part of the exploratory install. But if you have other R packages, because in R, I think it's like a 50,000 packages, or maybe I could be wrong, there's even more, many of the R packages. So you might have like your favorite R packages, or like you find other useful R packages. You can install it from here, and there's a manage R packages. And underneath under the system, these are the R packages that are installed as part of the exploratory. And here under the user, you can actually install by going to this install new packages. Okay, so let's say now, having said that, some of the stuff, for example, some of the analytics are not supported by exploratory's UI, but that doesn't, you don't have to let that stop you from trying it, right? So let's say like one of the things called something called Chromebox Alpha, which is basically to test the internal consistency among the variables. This is more like for the survey data analysis and stuff. So let's say like you want to actually run this one, and this one is included. This analysis or like whatever the algorithms included in this package called Psych, P-S-Y-C-H. And then luckily, this package is already installed as part of the exploratory. So that means all you need to do is just call this package so that this package is going to be available in this workspace. Then once that's done, then you can call any functions that are provided by these packages. So for example, like when I go here and then I can just R psych packages, and then you get bunch of information. Go to the main page, which is usually under the current, and then you can go to the reference or maybe as a like tutorial, either way. And then one of the functions called alpha. And then all you need to do is just basically give the data frame, give a data frame to this alpha function. So here, what I'm doing here is that beer survey, like I have the survey data here called beer survey. And this one has like about like, this one has 9 columns. And I like to see the internal consistency among these 3 variables, meaning these 3 variables, the way the responders or the people responded to these questions is kind of the same way. Otherwise, maybe like, the responders are manipulating the data or something, right? So like very like simple word, these 3 variables are correlated to one another enough that we can be confident with this survey data. So having said that, basically what I wanted to do is like, I can give just be a survey data frame to the alpha, but the problem is then alpha thinks it's like, oh, we have 9 columns, including this like categorical column. So I'm using it, the selecting a column. This is like a dplyers formula, but a simple way to explain is like this is data frame, pass the data frame data, and then like you actually use the select function to select the columns. I'm right now selecting the cost and size, but then how about here? There's one more column, alcohol, right? So like I'm gonna just select the alcohol. And then basically there are now 3 columns. Pass that to data frame and pass that data to the alpha function. And then click on the preview, and then quickly it runs that function and give me that result. This is the result that you would expect in our console or our studio or other tools. So once you find, if you find any sort of like our function of capability outside of exploratory or outside of exploratory UI, you can actually use Node to run it as well. Okay, so next one is, here's another example of the HD test, but now like ANOVA HD test is provided through exploratory's analytics view as a UI. So I'm gonna skip this. Another way to use our code in Node is you can actually create a custom visualization. Not really the custom visualization, but some of the R packages provides you the different types of chart types, right? And those are not supported in the exploratory UI. That case, you can, same way, you can actually write the R script to generate that. So here I have already created, wrote down to generate the tree map visualization. So here is a same way. So whatever the R package, in this case, the tree map, that is not, I don't think that's the, yeah, that's not in, let's check. Is that like install? Oh yeah, it's not installed. So like I actually installed tree map by myself under the install new package tab. And once it's installed, then like you want to actually call that library so that that library is going to be available in this workspace. And then like you might want to just consult with that document, the reference document, the tutorial, whatever. Typically, you just copy and paste. And then the important part is here. Here is a data frame name, that global sales data frame, which is coming from, where is that? Here, this global sales data frame. And that means at the very end, this is like step 12. Let's go to the table view. This data is the one being passed to here. So you can create a branch if you want to, like whatever the data that you want to pass, and that's the name of the data frame. And then here, index, that's the, in this particular case, the column names. So there are two levels, like a market as a top, and the next level is the country. Then like I wanted to create a tree map. Literally, I just copy and paste from the internet, and then like change this like a data frame and a column name area. Then when you go to the preview, then all of a sudden the tree map visualization is available. You can change the color, you can change the background, you can text size and so on. Those are included in that source code as well. Okay, so this way, like you can have that, custom visualization or like other type of analytics, or you can do inside the node. Okay, so that's pretty much for the top 10. There you go. Top 10 useful node features. And one thing though, like I haven't covered yet is this is also like we have added recently, the chart picker. This is not just for the node, same way for the dashboard as well. When you select the chart, like then when you have a bunch of data frames, it's hard to find it, even though there's a search. So you can actually sort by the date updated. This is very convenient. Let's say like you just added updated the chart, that means the data frames, the updated data gets updated. So that data frame should be showing up at the top of the dropdown. So that makes it easier to find the data chart that you're looking for. Okay, and also another thing is now like the node content is also gets a screenshot. So when you move the mouse over the data node, you get that screenshot of the content. So that will help you find which node that you want to open before you open. Okay. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. And if you have any other questions, and I like to open the Q&A session. But before that, you can always contact me at exploratory.io. And we also have the Twitter or X account, Exploratory Data. So please follow us. We keep sharing all the information, like announcements and so on. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much. And with that, now I'd like to open the Q&A session.